Well, welcome back. I'm Arthur Benjamin, and here once again with Farrah White, and we're here to tell you today the story of the first vegetarian dog rescue we know of in the United States.
Absolutely. It's a vegetarian dog rescue run by a beautiful vegan woman. Leading the charge is Skye Valencia, and Skye created the St. Martin Animal Foundation with her mother, Mimi, back in 1998. And this LA-based rescue is dedicated to teaching people how to be responsible pet owners. And we're excited to have Skye with us today. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm so happy to be here in Texas. Wow,
Yay.
first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, well, welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful. It's good to be here.
Good, good, good. Now, tell us, why did you start the St. Martin's Animal Foundation?
When I first started St. Martin's, well, first of all, I was raised in Peru with a very loving grandmother who just loved every kind of animal. In her backyard, she had animals from, from the forest, the Amazon, and there was so many like birds and beautiful animals. She just put that on me. I fell in love with animals because of her. She just nurtured them, and so as I grew and I saw the abuse of animals, I realized I had to do something. So since I spoke Spanish, I started an outreach with the city of Los Angeles to do outreach just for the Hispanic community, to educate them about spay neutering and not dog fighting. And there were so many new Latinos and Hispanics coming into the country that didn't really speak English very well. So there was no outreach for them at the time. And so we were chosen because we were bilingual. And that's how it began.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually.
So we had a vegetarian.
Yes.
Dog rescue aimed at the Latino community.
That's perfect.
That focuses on education?
Education. We educate children. We have probably one of the, I hate to say the best, but we have a really strong educational program. We educate 600 kids per assembly at different schools, and it's kids teaching kids. So they're young actors called the St. Martin's Green Team, and they're great looking kids that are very bright and very savvy on how to get kids to understand how to treat animals with compassion. And we need humane education in schools, and we don't have it. That's why there's so much abuse. That's why we keep butting our heads into the wall, and since 1999 we're killing more animals than ever. So the only way is education, and it has to be in the schools. There's no way around it.
And another first.
Yeah.
The team is vegan.
Well, yeah, the green teams, some of them are working on it, but most of the kids are vegetarian or vegan, and that's how we kind of spun off into this vegetarian route, because we don't only rescue dogs and cats. That's mainly our rescue, but we do turkeys and pigs and other animals that need help sometimes. So we just feel it's kind of uncomfortable for us to feed an animal that we're rescuing to another animal that we're rescuing.
Sure.
So we decided, I've been vegan for a long time, my mother too, so we said, well, why don't, the dogs do great on a vegetarian diet. Natural Balance gives us all our vegetarian food for free. And they've been so kind to us for years. And we have a lot of pit bulls. So they do amazing on a vegetarian diet. And they're strong and healthy and they thrive, and there's no reason to change it. So then I thought, well, let's keep on this route. It's greener, it's easier on the environment, better for your health. So we started doing that, and now we're known as the first vegetarian dog rescue.
And you said it's Whole Foods?
Whole Foods Market is our hugest sponsor. We do all of our adoptions with Whole Foods Market. They've been so kind to us because people eat healthier there, they take better care of their animals, they tend to be more holistic, and that's what we want for our dogs. And it's not like it's going to be a backyard dog. These dogs sleep in bed, watch TV. Right. That's what we want for them.
Now tell us what all, I want to know for dogs and humans, what all does it entail being a vegan?
For a vegan, for a human, it's just a more lifestyle. It's not just what you're eating. It's almost, I hate to say a religion, but it is something that you're very strict about, how you live your life daily. And it's, it's what you're eating, what you're wearing, who you support. I don't support companies that are cruel to animals. I'm very focused on makeup lines and all that kind of stuff that don't use testing. But as far as the dogs don't really know. It's just their diet. And we just try to keep it as clean and healthy as possible. The vegetarian kibble is Natural Balance has a scientist who really checks the bag, has checked all the food, that makes sure everything's perfect. And they actually have this really cool system where the dog food goes through their system to make sure it hasn't been tainted with bad meat, if it is meat products. Because remember back when the meat from China was killing animals, they opened up this facility because of that. They were so concerned. So I have a lot of trust in their dog food. And the dogs, like I said, do great. They don't miss the meat at all. It keeps their aggression down. We have a lot of pit bulls. and there's no reason to feed them anything else. So they do great.
Well, and we had talked about that on a previous show, Arthur, how the pet owners are actually 100% responsible for what their pet eats.
Exactly.
And a lot of the foods out there just aren't healthy. I think we talked about how bad corn was for the animals.
Wheat sometimes
A lot of the grains are bad for animals because dogs are one strand of DNA away from a wolf.
Okay.
So they eat what they would eat in the wild. I mean, that's what they would live on, and they can forage for anything. But you know, so you know, controversy about whether dogs need meat.
There's always controversy. Always.
Sure.
Just like people, there's always controversy.
Right,
You
there's
know?
controversy in everything. That's
Exactly.
Okay. But you're saving a lot of dogs, and not just dogs. That's so amazing. So, and how funny, yeah, you said, you know, if you're saving pigs, you certainly don't want to be feeding.
Well, I didn't expect to start saving pigs, but I moved into an area that's, you know, a lot of farm area, and everybody kind of raises their animals to eat.
Yeah.
And they have a bulletin board up at our market, and they show animals that don't have homes, and a lot of them are farm animals that need placing. And I never thought I'd get into that because I'm so busy with the dogs and cats alone. But I ended up placing quite a few pigs, and one now is this 700-pound swine who's a therapy pig for kids with autism.
Oh.
And it's just like, it's very heartwarming because he was going to be slaughtered, and now he's doing good work.
Yeah.
And the kids love him, and you could see them playing on his back. He could care less. He put bows on his head, and he's like this big.
Miss Piggy.
His name's Arnold.
That's funny. Now, in LA, I guess you have a lot of people helping you.
You know what? It's our sanctuary is so far from LA. We're considered LA because our office is there, and we do our outreach and our adoptions in that area. Also, some other outreach in other parts, but the Valley is where I have my office.
Okay.
But the shelter is far. It's almost 2 hours away, up in the high desert, and
Where
it's
is it?
really hard to get volunteers. It's Acton, Acton, California, and it gets really, really cold. We get snow, and it gets really, really hot. And the drive is okay for some volunteers for a few times, but after a while they get burnt out because it's a far drive. So our whole idea is trying to move closer now to where we can get
So
more
you've been
adoptions
working
done.
very hard to relocate the shelter, especially with this year of terrible fires out west and the fear of fire in the high desert. And we've seen them in Utah, Colorado, etc. And I know it's a concern of yours.
Horrible concern. Last year we evacuated twice. We had 8 fires.
Oh.
And we have 100 animals to try to move, and a lot of them are feral and some are seniors, you know, and it's too stressful for them. It's stressful for us.
Right.
So I think it's about time. It's time to move.
Yeah. Now, so you must have some people that are staying there.
Yeah, we have a few caretakers, and then we get the volunteers that do want to volunteer. But in the area we're at, there's so many people that have their own animals. We're like in farmland, so they don't want to come volunteer. They want to get paid.
Right.
And so for me, as a person who comes up with the funding and all that stuff, it gets a little stressful.
Sure.
But we have the team that we do have are amazing. I mean, they'll go to the ends of the earth to rescue a dog. They will help me out if I'm stuck somewhere. They'll come with their truck. You know, we have really good people that are on board that are part of the team. As far as volunteers, they come and go, you know, but the team itself, we have about 25 it's members of the team, and they're amazing.
And
Big hearts
you
for
rescue
animals.
between 5 and 7 and adopt out between 5 and 7 dogs every week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We
That's
go to the shelter
great.
every week, and sometimes we get a mother and she gives us, you know, a bunch of puppies. So sometimes it's more than that.
Well, tell us what your plan is or what your goals are. So you want to move the shelter. Is that one thing?
The number one, well, there's 3 goals actually.
Okay.
And 3 goals are we want to get a new rescue truck because our rescue truck has been used to the grind. And you know, for that many amount of animals that we take to adoptions, you need the air conditioning, you need the space and all that. So that's one of the things. Second is we definitely need to move to a closer place where more people can volunteer and the animals can be safe. But the third and most important to me is the children's outreach. I really want that to go full force, 100%. I want to get them their own show because there's no kids show on television that talks about animal rights that's kind of like Disney kids.
Sure.
And they're so cute and they're so full of charisma and they're contagious. You know, the kids look at them and they can't wait to get their autograph at the end of the, you know, speech, and they have a video already that we did, and they're just like really passionate. You know, they have that passion to do something, to make a difference. So it's kind of cool.
That's great, actually. And you had mentioned one dog food company, and then also Whole Foods. So how did you get that sponsorship?
I'm lucky. I ended up on, first of all, my neighbor was a rescue too, and she ended up on Fox 11 doing the Adopt a Pet every week, and she couldn't make it there. So she handed it to me, and I've been on there for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So that gets all of our animals adopted weekly. And then, well, the ones we show. Not all of them, I wish. That would be amazing. But, and then Whole Foods Market, I just started asking them for little donations here and there for fundraisers for food. And then I got to know the marketing managers, and they're like, you know what, you should do an adoption here. And I said, okay. And pretty soon I was in Beverly Hills, West Hollywood. I'm in about 7 different Whole Foods in LA, and we do it every week.
Well, tell us about some of the individuals, some of your favorites, like Jack and Jill and Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
We have so many stories, so many stories. We have Jack and Jill and little Tom Sawyer, that was a third brother, and they were found in a dumpster a couple of weeks ago. And to me, I'll never understand why people do that. It just makes me angry.
Look at those guys.
But they're just little. Yeah, that's them.
That's
so
sweet.
cute. And now they're all doing great. Actually, I just got a photograph of Jill with her sunglasses on, living large in Florida.
Aw,
Yeah.
how nice.
So yeah, I make sure they all go from downtown to uptown, and they're treated with so much love, and the people can afford them. If
Yeah.
they get ill or whatever, they don't never have to suffer.
Can
And
you
so
imagine one of those little dogs living in Florida in the sun wearing sunglass goggles?
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Goggles for
And a
dogs.
snorkel. So then you go all over the nation then.
we travel quite a bit. I've been all over the place, but our main place is LA because there's so much to do in LA
Sure,
alone. There's
sure.
so much dog fighting,
Yeah,
so much
yeah.
breeding,
Really?
and horrible abuse. I mean, it's amazing how people still abuse animals like we were back in the dark ages. So education, that's our main thing. Just
Yeah.
if you don't educate the kids, they're not going to get any different. We're going to keep on butting our heads into the wall.
Now, what about Eva? Tell us about Eva.
Well, Eva's the one that's in Florida.
Oh, she's the glasses one and snorkel
She's
one?
the one, and her mother just called and said, "Do you have another one?"
Oh, how funny.
I said they've all been adopted. Sorry, and I don't want to fly her to Florida.
Aw.
It's different if they go together.
Sure.
But we have also Grandpa right now. I'm worried about him, Mr. Magoo. He was a pit bull that was used for a bait dog, and he has a big scar down his eye, blind, puncture wound scars all over his body. So he became our poster boy for the anti-dog fighting issue, and he's been on numerous magazines. He's had his picture done with the mayor and all this cool stuff, but he's on his deathbed this weekend. Yeah, he's,
What about Dallas?
Dallas, the big boy? Dallas was another, we rescue dogs that are used either for dog fighting, or we get dogs that were abused by their own owners. And what happens is they become evidence dogs, and once the owner gets in trouble, nobody takes the dog and he gets euthanized. What kind of justice is that?
It's not.
So we ended up with Dallas and Cupcake, which are 2 evidence dogs who had their ears burned, their backs burned, they were starved to death, and are the sweetest pit bulls you've ever seen. They're both big now. Dallas has a head like this, and he just gives you a kiss and washes your whole face. But it's these animals that really are the saints, because they're the ones who are forgiving. They forgive all the abuse, and it's up to us to kind of nurture them back, to rehabilitate them and let them trust again. So that's kind of another thing we do. We do a lot of rehabilitating, and also for your doggy who couldn't use his back legs, Bandit, we've had dozens of dogs like that came to us that had issues because of malnutrition, calcium deficiency, whatever. They can run now, just like he can. It's kind of cool.
Now tell us a little bit, because we've talked about and touched on pit bulls on several of our shows, which is just such a grotesque unfairness, I think, with those dogs. But apparently you have quite a few of them.
That we started off as a pit bull rescue, and then because there are so many Chihuahuas now and other little breeds that are overly bred, we have other dogs too. But pit bulls just grabbed my heart, because I saw, well, my first pit bull I got because I saw Flashdance, and she had a dog named Grunt, and I was like, what is that? I want that dog. I didn't know what it was or the plight of the pit bull. And I got my pit bull, and I loved her to death, and she got poisoned by her neighbor because they were afraid of her. And that just spiraled me into wanting to learn more on what's going on with the plight of the pits. And the more I learned, they had the short end of the stick. They were ending up with the thugs, and they were being used for dog fighting or just to be protection for their drugs, And And it's just a horrible thing. And then people go, oh, one bites someone and the whole breed's bad. Well, look at what they're going through.
Sure.
These dogs are not ending up with good people, and they're
Right.
not being socialized. The pit bulls, and most dogs need to be socialized as puppies, but pit bulls especially because they're so strong and they want to play, you know. If you don't socialize them, you're going to have a tough dog on your hands, and nobody socializes them.
Let's change gears for a minute. We have something else in common, and that's your work with the seals.
Yes. Yes. I just got passionately involved with the seals just recently because I hooked up with this guy named Pat Dickens, who is part of the Seals of Namibia. And so he showed me the footage, and he had me hooked. And I said, this is the worst carnage I've ever seen. It's the biggest land mammal slaughter in the world. And it's baby seals that they can't even get out of the way, and these guys just come in. I can't even tell you how horrific it is. So we did, I met Arthur in Malibu, and I said, hey, tomorrow I'm doing this big poster shoot on the anti-seal clubbing. And we got all these mothers and children together, and then we had the fake seal hunters looking like they were going to bash them in the heads, and girls holding signs saying all mothers deserve protection. And it went off to all the media, but that was the only thing I knew how to do besides getting more people educated. Because
Very few people know about the seal hunt that goes on in
Namibia.
Yeah,
it's
and
horrible.
It's, we focus here on the Canadian seal
Sure.
hunt and ending the seal hunt, and I think once the Canadian seal hunt's ended, the attention will be turned there. But
I wish we could nip
Well,
both
we
of them in
could
the
probably,
butt.
try to just go ahead and combine those two efforts, because that's one of the things, I mean, we actually went
I saw the photos. It's amazing.
It was amazing, but that's one of the things is when I try to describe to people, we're talking about pups, and the seals are the pups of the sea.
Yeah.
And they are like puppies with no arms and no legs.
I mean,
it's
when
a
they
puppy.
walk around, they're just like on their bellies.
Little
and
wet
they're so
noses,
adorable.
whiskers, it's the same
Same
literally,
thing.
and they just can't get away, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. We've actually,
the worst part was how you described the sounds.
oh,
Yeah.
Sounds like a nursery of children.
yeah,
Little
it really does.
babies, infants, and it's terrible to know what's going to take place if you.
I just even can't imagine. I can't even imagine. And even when they send me the pictures, I keep on typing, but I don't look because I cannot. That image stays with me, and it keeps me from sleeping and being functional.
Sure.
To function to help. I can't.
Sure.
So I know it's out there, and I'm going to do the best I can to try to stop it for next year, and the Canadian one too. Whatever we can do. It's just
And I know being in
horrific.
Dallas, you have a great desire to go test a restaurant in Dallas. Which is this? That they're in
I
Houston
can't remember
and
which one
Dallas?
this one was called because you've given me a few.
It's the diner, the
Spiral?
Spiral Diner.
Yeah, they said they had amazing seitan.
Spiral Diner, yeah.
yeah.
Actually, some friends of mine either still own it or used to own it.
Oh, really?
So, James Johnston and his wife, they're local filmmakers, and they also are vegans, and they've got one here in Dallas and one in Fort Worth
So
as
they're
well.
vegans here in Texas.
Yes,
Woo!
yes, there are vegans here in Texas also.
But yeah, I read the rating, and it had a really good rating. They said the food is
Yeah.
delicious. So
Yeah.
I'd love to check it out sometime.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
So it'd be a
fun.
lot of firsts.
That's right. Yeah, we're full of firsts. Well, here, let's go back to St. Martin's quickly and find out what are some of your hopes and what can we do to help, and what do you see in the future?
What I see in the future is less dog killing and cat killing, more compassion through children. Because when I first started doing the outreach, my mind was like, how come so many kids are abusing animals? And it's because the parents go, oh, it's boys will be boys. They set cats on fire. Boys will be boys. That's not, boys will be mass murderers if you keep that.
Right.
So I'd like to see the children's outreach really bloom. That's like my main focus because I really don't see any difference. I want to see our shelter be completely green and self-sustainable. I want to get more solar energy. Our organic garden that feeds our volunteers and us because it's expensive to buy organic.
Yeah.
And you get 50% more vitamins from organic food. 50%.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So I wanted, and the dogs eat it too. So if we could go self-sustainable, green, and have an amazing, strong outreach program for the kids, it's all nationwide and maybe going into other countries.
Yeah.
We're
That
styling.
would be perfect.
We're styling.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Sky.
Oh, it's a
really
pleasure.
coming all the way
I had
from
a great
California.
time.
It's amazing. I wish
Thank
you
you
the
for
best
what
of
you
luck.
do.
Oh, sure, absolutely. If you want to read more about what Sky is doing with the St. Martin's Animal Foundation, visit her online. Her website is stmartinsrescue.org. And don't go anywhere because Arthur, Bandit, and I will be right back.
Welcome back to The Love of Dogs, and we're going to talk about some very special talents.
Yes, we are. And actually, we've told you about some amazing rescues, and we're so happy for people opening up their homes to dogs. So it's such a special, nice thing. So hats off to all of you. But today, yeah, we have a little bit of a different story. We're going to talk about some talents.
Dogs have hidden talents.
They do.
There's the talent of love, but there's the hidden talents that they all have. If you saw America's Got Talent, there's dogs that do dancing, and there's dogs that do acrobatics, and there's dogs that do, and we have a very special cut.
Yes, we do. We have a clip we're going to share with you. Maybe some of you have seen it. It's a dog that says, "I love you," in a very special way. Mishka has been making headlines. She really has. So watch this.
Hello. Talking animals have long been a Hollywood fantasy, from TV's Mr. Ed.
I told you horses are smarter than people.
To Rex Harrison's Dr. Dolittle.
Imagine talking to a tiger.
I don't know, maybe.
And Eddie Murphy's version.
Shut up. You're a dog. Dogs can't talk.
Well, maybe one dog can.
I love you. Good girl.
A top dog on YouTube with more than 55 million views for this one video alone.
I love you.
The unseen voices, Mishka's owners, Matt and Alina Guardia.
I think she is actually, feeling that kind of emotion when she says it to us. People find that real sweet.
Their New Jersey home is their studio.
Kind of like a doggy reality show.
A rambunctious place with Mishka, Moki, Laika, and 3-year-old Trevor.
Do you have more videos of Mishka or Trevor?
Oh, we have... I don't know.
Online, there are more than 400 videos of Mishka.
Are you stupid?
And yes, this 9-year-old is a bit of a diva. From her window seat, to her spa days, to her commercial appearances. Mishka and her sidekicks are virtual pets for millions. For those who've lost dogs, for those who can't have dogs, and for people who just need a reason to smile. She is a global star with fans from Russia to the Philippines to the U.S., expressing their adoration via Facebook, Twitter, and snail mail.
We're still their caretakers, we're still their owners, but yeah, we love sharing them with everybody.
And letting Mishka say the 3 little words,
I love you,
that need no translation. Ann Thompson, NBC News, South Amboy, New Jersey.
Yes, Bandit's been practicing. He says that he's a participant in this new ventriloquism.
Yeah.
I love you! I love you!
Right. You know what? That was almost as good. That really was.
Quite.
He could give that dog, he could give Mishka a run for money.
He's trained to be very quiet.
Right. Well, that's part of it. Well, how funny. Yeah, dogs do so many funny different things, don't they? They can have biscuits on their nose that they can catch in their mouths. Some of them can chase their tails. We're dealing with some talented dogs that are trained to do all kinds of things on the set of Champion. So it really is amazing how many things that dogs can do. They truly have so many talents. Woo!
Well, he's obviously trying some talent here.
Right.
I think it's a fly.
He's trying to catch something.
Fly catching.
Right, which is also a very honed talent. Skill involved with that.
There's an amazing bond between humans and dogs, and I think it's very obvious between me and Bandit. And if you could see me with Tex, the big boxer we've talked about, I think that's true for the animal as well as the person. And I really believe that Mishka is feeling those emotions when she makes those noises, which mimic the "I love you," because you can see it in her body language and you can see it in her face.
Well, she certainly does look like a very happy dog. And you heard them answer the parents. They said, "Do you have more videos of your child or your dog?" And they laughed, right? Because really, those are probably really close to the same. It looks like a really great family. So
you have 2 dogs still.
I do have 2 dogs.
Blackie and Whitey.
Blackie and Whitey. I still have them. I had said that I was going to give them up for a rescue or for adoption, and that just hasn't happened yet because I've been too busy. But they're doing well. I'd like to report. They are cool this summer. And yeah, Blackie's not getting any bigger, so that's a good thing. Right?
But they're well-behaved dogs.
They're very well-behaved dogs.
And we've had Blackie on the show. Yeah,
we might have to bring Whitey on the show because Whitey smiles, which also is another talent, I think. It's kind of funny. I didn't know what was going on at first.
So if somebody has a real interest in a
Yeah.
home with a big yard and a place for these
That's
dogs
right.
to run, they can write to
Yep.
us at American Dog Rescue
Yes.
and let you know that
Absolutely.
there's a good home for Blackie and Whitey. But
I got 2
you've also
dogs and
been
a dinner
lately
for
on
you.
the filming of Champion, your new movie. I understand that you're a one a day or a one every other day person.
Oh, yes. I've found, so we're filming in the country
Quick,
on a ranch.
explain it
which-
before somebody misunderstands.
Yes, which is that I seem to pick up a stray dog every other day. So I got the nickname One a Day because people are dumping their dogs out in the country, and it's really unfortunate because there's no water and no provisions, and these dogs clearly used to be with homes, and now for whatever reason, whether it's people can't feed them or just didn't want the responsibility of them anymore, they've been dropping them off. So San Antonio has a huge problem with stray dogs. And a lot of the times you'll see different animals on the street, usually but near houses, but a lot of animals running around there. So it's been interesting and it's been challenging.
Congratulations to you on finding every one of them a home. Thank
you. I called, texted Arthur frantically, help, help, I have these 2 dogs, help me.
And we found you people to reach out to in San Antonio.
Absolutely. So everyone can make a difference.
Those dogs are happily placed.
Yeah,
everybody can make a difference, and it's one big national community. We've talked about the groups like Animal Rescue Corps and Humane Society of the United States making a difference on a more global basis, national and global basis. But you can make a difference. If you're watching right now, you can pick up your phone, call your local dog rescue, volunteer your time, make a donation. You can go to American Dog Rescue and choose one of the causes that we support, make a donation directly to that cause, and you can find us on Facebook and on Twitter and on at www.americandogrescue.org.
And also YouTube. You can see our previous shows, and you can go to our website and see what's coming up in the future.
And speaking of coming up in the future, we'll be back next week.
Absolutely. We'll see you then.